What's up, guys? It's Casey's Oldman, aka the Fourth Sanderson sister, coming at you with another episode of my Hocus Pocus Cookbook of recipes. In today's episode, we are back in the official cookbook, making pretty much an entire meal. This is one of the only times I've actually seen an entire meal in this book. We're making the Maggot stuffed pork chops, which doesn't sound great, does it? But the maggots are spätzle, so it's actually okay.
Wench! Trollop! You buck-toothed, mop-rimed firefly from hell! Ah! I've waited centuries to say that.
Oh, say what you want, just don't breathe on me.
Billy! I killed you once, I shall kill you again, you maggoty mouthpiecers!
So, for this recipe, you obviously need pork chops. It calls for 4. I could only find a 5-pack, so we're using 5. You need eggs, half and half, butter, nutmeg, salt, pepper. It says ground white pepper, but I don't have ground white pepper. I'm using black pepper. You need all-purpose flour. You need apple cider vinegar. It says 1 large apple. I have 2 small apples. And it says cup of fresh parsley leaves, roughly chopped, but that's optional. And I don't have time for that. You also need time. Now that all 2 of you are still watching. So we're going to start with making the spätzle because that's going to take the longest amount of time. And not this time. So, I got a mixing bowl here. This is going to be for our spätzle mix. I like to have a bigger bowl. It was like, oh, in a medium mixing bowl. I'm like, no, I got a feeling I'm going to need more room than that. So we're using the big boy. The big steely boy that I like. First thing you're going to do, get yourself a full cup of all-purpose flour. Alright. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Almost perfect, man. That was almost perfect. Now it's perfect. Get in there. I don't want you spilling on my counter. I've cleaned it like 6 times. Alright, there we go. It's the one thing about cooking, isn't it? You love to do it, but it's the cleaning up afterwards. You're just like, jeez, make it stop. Wish I could do this without the use of my hands. A lot of people who are against the whole magic thing, I'm just like, you know, if magic was real, I'd just use it to like clean my kitchen and stuff. Just the things like that that I just don't want to do, that's what I would use it for. You know, I mean, so then you need a whole, wrong thing. You need a whole teaspoon of salt. This takes a little while. Alright, whole teaspoon of salt. Pop in the mixture. And then you need a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. I'm substituting black pepper. I don't know how well this is going to go, but we'll see. You know what? I'm going to eyeball it. That looks right. That looks right, the right amount. Then you need a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Ground nutmeg. Nutmeg just smells like the holidays, you know? And who knows, it might be when you guys are seeing this is the holidays. I don't know when these are coming out. They just come out when I feel like it. So just give that a good stir until it's all nice and combined. And then I want you to go ahead and do this next part. Make a well in the center. With your hands, just make a little well, which if you don't know what that is, it's just a hole in the middle where you can pour some other stuff. I've done this when I've made pasta from scratch before. It's important. Alright. There we go. Now I'm going to just trade places here with those 2 things. Thank you. Alright, so in this bowl is what you're doing with your eggs and your half and half. Scooch. There we go. So you need 2 large eggs. 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and tear off the paper towel to put these on. Because for some reason in these videos, I never think of doing that ahead of time. There we go. Carefully, don't get any shells in there. One. Yep. And two. You only need a quarter cup of half and half. That goes it. It almost makes a little face, doesn't it? Look at that. See the eyes? Just a little face. I'm about to whisk that face into oblivion, but I just noticed that and I was like, that's kind of cool. Alright. And just break the yolks up. Whisk everything together. Because this is going right in that well that we made a minute ago. And then, carefully, add this egg mixture right in the middle where your well is. There you go. Well, that just went in right perfectly, didn't it? Look at that. It's amazing. Alright. And then you're just going to kind of fluff it in there. Just fluff it in. Because you're going to make a spätzle batter from this. This is truly the part that's going to take you the longest, is the spätzle. I've never made spätzle before. So this is a first for me, and it's a first for you guys watching me do it. So let's hope this isn't a disaster. I don't know. It could be. I don't have a lot of faith in myself when it comes to the first time stuff. But to be fair, I did make a pretty daggone good chimichurri for the very first time in another one of these videos. Which I don't know if it's up yet or not. But I think it is, maybe. I try to do them in the order that I recorded them, but I can't guarantee that that's how it came out. We're getting a nice little batter going here. Alright, that looks pretty good. Got our spätzle batter. That actually looks kind of right. Look at that. Who'd have thunk it? I sure didn't. I sure didn't. Alright, so, got your batter done. Now you need to bring a large pot of water to a boil. Important thing, salted water. You want this stuff to be salty like the ocean. If you don't taste the Pacific, Atlantic, or the Indian Ocean when you taste your water, it is not salty enough, my friends. It's just not. You see how much I'm putting in here? There's a reason, okay? So, it helps the pasta and stuff get flavor, but I once tried to impress my grandfather, who is an Italian man. We have our family recipe spaghetti sauce. Every family's got one. Every Italian family's got one. Alright? I worked my butt off. I mean, just to the bone, worked my butt off. And we jarred that sauce. I made the meatballs. I made the Italian sausage. I did everything exactly in the order that he created it. Well, really his mom created it, but I'm digressing. I did everything right. I just wanted him to say I got close. We jar that stuff. We take it with us to New York to visit him. I make the pasta. I make the sauce. I ask him how it is. And you know what he tells me? You forgot to salt the water, didn't you? And I said, yeah. And that's it. But I take the fact that he didn't say a thing about the sauce being off as a win, because that absolutely means I nailed the sauce. But he has not let me live down that pasta water. Not let me live it down at all. So I am always salting my water from now on because of that man. And I love him dearly. But it was just, that was the one time I was like, are you kidding? I was so close. I felt like Director Krennic in Rogue One. We were this close to greatness. So, to do this part, I'm actually going to exchange places with that, so you guys can see what I'm doing. That needs to turn. You are going to cut along the side. set it up on the side that you want it to. So I would say the fat side is where you're going to have it be the stand up. And you're going to cut slits about 3 inches long and as deep as you can get it without coming out the other side. You're basically making pockets for the spätzle. No, this is not easy, which is why I'm probably going to cut away here in a moment. There. There's a pocket. You can get a little bit in there. I'm going to try to hollow it out a little bit more, but there is a pocket for the spätzle that's supposed to go inside. That's about as good as it's going to get. So repeat that with the rest of them. The next part isn't going to be until I get the water boiling or until I start getting the apples going. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to let that start boiling. I'm going to get, and then we're going to do the apples. Okay, so the water is boiling, which means we can do the next step, which is clean the whisk off. Get off, I want everything. Okay, that's as good as it's gonna get, isn't it? There. Alright, it's gonna go in the sink. I need a spatula because I do not have a spätzle maker, nor do I really have a very big cheese grater. I'm using a strainer to do this part. Actually, I'm gonna use the other one. This one has better holes, so I'm going to use this one. So, to make spätzle. Hey, that works. That is going to get extremely warm, isn't it? Just pour some of that in a little bit at a time here. I'm going to do about that much to begin with. I'm going to pick you up. And then you just kind of back and forth so it comes out the holes. You gotta push it through. Push it through. This is gonna be your workout. This is where you're really gonna get your workout done, guys. Because you got a whole bowl of stuff to do here. And they gotta be in there for about 2 to 3 minutes apiece. And they just come out as little bitty, well, maggot size, like the recipe calls for. So that works out. Whew. But I tell you, it's going to get hot. It is going to get hot. It's already getting hot. Maybe I should have used the one that's a little less metal. But this one has the better holes. They aren't going to come out all the same shape, by the way. That's just how it is. But once they start coming out, I am not showing this entire process because you're going to hear me going, ow, ooh, ee, ah, a lot like a cartoon character because this is hot stuff. But once it goes in and it puffs out, after your like 2 to 3 minutes is up, transfer it to a bowl with melted butter. It says 4 tablespoons of melted butter.
2,000 years later.
Okay, now that I'm sweating like a donkey in a sauna, because that was a workout, let's turn our attention back to the pork chops. The next step you've got is to season them. It says just with salt on the inside and outside. I'm sorry, that is not good enough for me. Salt is great. Seasoning's better. Not so easy to do it on the inside, but it'll get in there. Alright. So I'm using a local spice blend that I bought at our farmer's market. But you use whatever seasonings you want. If you just want to do the salt, do the salt. I'm pumping it up a little. I'm adding a little Hocus Pocus to it. Because I feel like that's going to be better. Seasoning's very important. Even your water, as I just told you in that story, which I hope y'all got a really good chuckle out of that. Because, I mean, it still makes me laugh to this day that that's what happened. But it's just like, you frustrating man. Love my Pappaw, though. Wouldn't trade him for the world. Wouldn't trade him for the world, and I hope he knows that. Alright. Of course, he doesn't have internet, so he'll never be able to see this. But, who knows, if one of my relatives goes up there, maybe they'll show it to him. You hear that, Aunt Maria? Alright, we got these seasoned. Now I'm going to wash my hands because cross-contamination. And then you're going to use olive oil and butter. I'm going to do a little bit of this because it just said 1 tablespoon of olive oil. No, it said 2 tablespoons, excuse me. There you go. That's how we eyeball it in the South. And this is 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to melt this. There we go. And then you need to just brown them on both sides undisturbed, and that's about 3 to 4 minutes per side. So I'm going to work on getting the apples cut up while that's happening. Got to core them and then cut them into 1-inch chunks. But that's all we're going to be able to do with those right now, because the next step with those is going to be we're going to be using that pan. So kind of got to wait until the pork's done to do that part. You know? So, almost done with these apples, which surprisingly does not involve cinnamon this time. And I'm actually happy about that because my poor mother is allergic to cinnamon. She didn't used to be allergic to cinnamon, but she developed that allergy later in life and she can't have cinnamon anymore, or, you know, bad things. But these don't have cinnamon, so she can actually eat these, which is great. Get a baking dish because you're going to be transferring that over. Also, get this heating up to about 350 because you're going to put those in there. Now, if you're worried about your seams sealing, don't. They won't. They will not seal. There. Trying to scooch these guys over just a little. And when these go in the oven, it's going to be for 15 minutes or until they're done. And then while those are in the oven, I'm going to cook the apples. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so we got the pan done. You do not want to clean it out. This is what you are cooking your apples in. You're going to deglaze it with some apple cider vinegar. About 1/2 cup. Or 1/4 cup even. We'll split the diff. And you gotta stir for about 2 to 3 minutes. So it breaks things down, like the fat and drippings and stuff. I got the pork chops already in the oven. You're still gonna hear a beep, but it was pretty well heated up. So all you're going to do with this is you're going to add in your apples, and then you're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, which I am now going to go ahead and throw in here so they can start doing their thing. So you need 1/2 teaspoon of this, which to me is about that much. It's about that much. And then you just want to cook these down for about 7 minutes until they're tender. And don't worry, I don't have to put anything in the oven. It's already in the oven. So the next thing I'm going to show y'all is once the pork chops are done and these are done, we'll have the assembly line to stuff the pork chops and make a plate. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so the last bit that you got to do is you're going to take your chop and you're going to stuff it with the maggots, or in this case, the spätzle. That's really hot. Frankly, I don't know why they don't have you do this step first. I think it's dumb, but it's not my circus, not my monkeys. So I'm going to hold that open as best as I can, and you just stuff some spätzle in there. Or you try your darndest. I think I got 2 pieces in there. Okay. Why you don't do this first is a mystery to me, because it's hot AF, number 1. And number 2, would it not just be easier? Alright, you know what? That's good enough. Look, I got it in there. It's in there. It's in there. Or if you want to skip the stuffed part altogether, just serve the spätzle on the side like a normal human being. Okay. So we got that. We got our apples, which are done, and they actually look really pretty. Look at that. Those are gorgeous. Alright. I'm gonna try one of those. I'm gonna get a little bit of my spätzle off to the side to taste that. And I'm gonna give her a go. Yeah. And it all comes spilling right back out. Sure. Ooh, I may have overcooked these. Alright. I didn't. I did not overcook it. Y'all, they did it again. That's good. That is freaking good. It is freaking good. Alright, let's try the apple. I'm not usually a fan of cooked apples, so we'll see if I like this. I swore I would never like cooked apples. By golly, I like cooked apples. Those are delicious. Those are awesome. Maybe I just don't like cinnamon. These are insane. This is a good recipe. Not just a bunch of hocus pocus, man. You got your whole meal here for you and your family to enjoy. And speaking of family, mine's home in about less than an hour. So I'm going to give you guys the outro. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It helps me. What helps me helps you guys get more great content like this. This is very good. This week, I'm sure there is a Twitch stream for you guys to watch. You should watch it. You should watch it. Go follow me on Twitch. I don't know what game we're playing because I don't know when you're seeing this. I also know there's probably a Saturday Night Black Flame Gaming stream here on YouTube. I don't know what game we're playing because, again, don't know when you're seeing this. But editing Casey will keep you in the loop. If you're a regular on this channel, please remember to drop a like and share your thoughts on this recipe down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson Sister, and I'll see you witches and wizards later.